Hello and welcome to Pop Along RC. As you can see, I have been out racing this amazing Tamiya Hot Shot. But why is it amazing, I hear you ask? Well, I'll tell you one thing, it's not due to its performance. This car is amazing to me because this is a re-release of my first ever RC car. And do you know what? The nostalgia I got right driving this around the track was absolutely priceless. That being said, for a racing experience, it just couldn't compete with some of the other cars that I was up against. So I was competing in the iconic RC Revival, and I was up against other cars that were manufactured originally between 1977 and 1985. The Hot Shot, this one here, was released in 1985, and therefore it was one of the newer cars in the range. That being said, it is like many of the other Tamiyas. It is a RC car. It is not necessarily a race spec car. Now, we have had lots of success racing our TT01s and our TT01Es. This is an original TT01, this one here. The Iconic Cup is the on-road RC car event by Iconic RC. So over the years, we have raced the MO3 in the M chassis class, where you can run the MO1, MO2, MO3 and MO4. But this year we were racing the TT01. Really enjoyable. We managed to get to 3 rounds this year. Thoroughly enjoyable. But this was our first revival and our first crack of the whip at running off-road. With the Revival, it is run over 2 days. You have the 2-wheel drive buggies on a Saturday and the 4-wheel drive on the Sunday. Due to other family commitments, me and Mark only managed to get there for the Sunday, which meant leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning, driving for a couple of hours up the M1 to Nottingham to get there in time for the race briefing and concourse at 8 o'clock. So my first actual run of this car was my first qualifying round, and I opted for going around nice and slow just to get it nice and clean without any issues. It wasn't until I started trying to push with this car that the car started to struggle. So at the end of the long straight, I was getting grip roll and the car was flipping over. The servo was a little bit slow and the turning circle was quite large. But you know what? I wasn't there to win. I was there to have fun and enjoy the experience, which is exactly what I did. So at one point, as I was coming down the steep drop, a car jumped over the hose and we had a head-on collision, which did actually break the front end of the car, snapped the bumper, which actually is now held on with tape, and it seemed to manage as the day went by. Now, when I first came off the track, I obviously noticed the bumper because it was hanging off, but what I missed was the fact that I'd lost a few screws where the uprights attached to the lower arm at the front here, and that is where the problem started, because what actually happened in the next round is that lower arm worked its way loose and it was rubbing on the wheel and it completely wore down. So the standard of driving at this event was super high and the quality of the cars was just as high to match. So do you know what? I'm going to put it down as a fun experience. I'm glad I've done my first revival. I will be doing another one. So if you like this sort of stuff, watch this space, like, subscribe, hit the old ding dong bell. Now, I'm not a massive believer in having lots of shelf queens about. However, as this is a replica of my first ever RC car, and I feel that I have run it in a race now, it has been run, it's not a pure shelf queen, I do think I can retire it to the shelf for the time being, and maybe get it out next summer and have a few little fun sessions with other vintage RC cars.